Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my fiance, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is December 19th, 1998.
It is.
It is our last episode of the year, everybody.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will have next week, which will be the day after Christmas, we will have our best of episode.
Our Christmas present to you.
That we do every year.
Mark does every year, really.
And the week after that, we're still off, but we're going to have a best of Horny Creek and Slayer talk.
That'll be fun.
They'll be mixed and matched together, so you'll have that to look forward to. And then the second week of January, we'll be back. We may or may not have new episodes of 90210 for you. I'm leaning towards not. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think we should really take the break.
Yeah. Because I worked it out, and at the end of this season of 90210, the one that's currently airing, we should be, if I'm correct, we should be done, like caught up to 90210 in real time right before September. And if they're going to have another season, then that means that we'll be caught up right before the new season. So we'd be able to watch season 10 with you guys.
That'll be so exciting.
Starting in September of 1999. So, like less than a year from now.
Yeah. I mean, assuming they have another season. Have you heard that for reals? Because I don't know.
I don't know. I purposely don't pay attention to any news. Sometimes news will come up about 90210 and I just tune it out because I don't want any spoilers, but I do know that it's still very popular. So
you're just like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I'm imagining that
Can you hear me now?
I'm imagining that it's going to get, I don't know what that means. I'm imagining that it's going to get another season because of how popular it is. But, Carol, will President Clinton get another season? Because today,
That is the question.
Impeached. What do you think for 2 counts of high crimes and misdemeanors, obstruction of justice, and lying under oath? Sorry to talk about politics, everybody, but it's a huge story.
I think it's dumb because what they're saying he lied about is having an affair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, why is it anybody, like, they shouldn't have been asking him that anyway. It's his personal life.
Their own, blame Kenneth Starr, I guess. Their own, Speaker of the House, their own new Speaker of the House says he's strayed from his marriage. Clinton's popularity remains very high, and they're bombing Iraq and all that shit, so, because they won't let UN inspectors in or something. Sorry to talk about politics, everybody, but
I don't know. I still like President Clinton.
Anyway, that's the news there. I figured we would be derelict in our duty if we didn't mention it. I mean, he just got impeached today, so.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into it, but
you don't want to rile up the listeners there with our political views.
I don't agree with the things he's done, and I don't think he's a particularly good person. He's politically, I think it's hard to argue with some of his successes.
Okay.
The economy has been very successful under him. The budget has been balanced for the first time since, Nixon, I think, under him. So he has had successes as a president, and I think if from a purely governing side, he's been pretty good, at the very least, to maybe even great. As a person, I think he's not a good person.
Sure, there are lots of people, though, that aren't good people that don't have to face criminal charges for not being good people.
No, I understand. I think the impeachment thing is... So there's 2 sides of me on this, too. So I think the impeachment thing's kind of dumb, but the history nerd inside of me, knowing that we haven't had an impeachment since the impeachment of Andrew Johnson, in the 1860s has me kind of, I don't know, excited, I guess, for a trial in the Senate where all three branches of the government come together. The Senate is the jurors, the executive branch is on trial, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is the judge. So it's a confluence of all the branches of government coming together. From a history point of view, it's exciting.
You should see his face right now. He's so happy. It's amazing.
I'm so happy that a maybe good president but terrible person's life is being torn
Blown
asunder.
up.
But whatever, his wife hugged him and stuff, so he's cool. Speaking of cool, though, Garbage's goal is great songs, not big sales.
Okay.
You familiar with the band Garbage?
Yeah, I like Garbage.
Yeah, that's why you're with me.
Hey, now.
Nothing lasts.
Not at all.
That's the lesson in pop for 98. Much touted records by previously big-selling bands such as Pearl Jam, Smashing Pumpkins, Hole, and Marilyn Manson are sinking off the charts. Well, you know Marilyn Manson, right?
Yeah.
How's Robert Zombie doing?
Rob Zombie? I don't know.
I know he's more human than human, but anyway. While hot-selling hip-hop artists such as Lauryn Hill, Master P, and Jay-Z are making mincemeat out of the prognosticators.
The prognosticators?
People that make predictions.
Okay.
Add Garbage, which hits Joe Louis Arena tonight as part of CIMX-FM's, which is 89X, Christmas concert, the night 89X stole Christmas, which is a local reference for all of you guys. To list of bands caught up in the upheaval. The group's 1995 debut album sold 4 million copies worldwide, and the quartet was further boosted by the chart-topping number one hit, Number One Crush from the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack.
I love that song.
But the follow-up, version 2.0, is lingering listlessly in the middle of the top 200 and still has not reached gold status, which is $500,000 sales. Missing from the discussion about its changing fortunes of the record industry, however, is the question of content. So Garbage is saying they want to make great songs. They don't give a fuck how much it's selling.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just like, when somebody like gets rejected for a date and they're like, I don't care if you like me. I'm hot.
Exactly. If you want to continue to make music, Garbage, you should care about the sales. But this is the lineup: Beck, Garbage, Marcy Playground, which is one of my favorites. Plus,
Sex and Candy.
Yes, exactly. I want sex and candy.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Placebo and Everlast. You know Everlast? That's
Yeah.
The one guy from House of Pain. Jump around. That's it. MC'd by Kid Rock.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, pretty soon he gets any more famous, he does any more albums, he's going to have to be called Teenager Rock.
Okay.
And then later Adult Rock. And then finally Old Man Rock.
I feel like that's not going to happen.
30 years from now, they're going to call him Old Man Rock.
All right. That sounds nasty somehow.
You don't want an Old Man Rock?
I don't want that.
All right, well, speaking of Old Man Rocks, this is actually not that bad of a transition either. Yahoo! Internet Life magazine interviews the Star Trek captains. William Shatner says, on the other captains, Patrick Stewart, Kate Mulgrew, and Avery Brooks, as captains are far too young for their roles. It takes an aged, gentle, wise, Viagra-energized man like myself to be the best captain. So now, what was the subject?
Oh, jeez.
Patrick Stewart responds, Bill is absolutely right. I don't quarrel with him on anything. That's
old man speak right there.
Exactly. Anyway, now here is Bob Talbert, one of the venerable writers for the Detroit Free Press. If I were Santa, I'd bring these gifts to Michigan.
Okay.
So let's see if you agree with any of this. To Governor John Engler, a fitness program, because he's fat.
Wow.
Start with Rush Limbaugh's low-fat diet, which the radio loudmouth says helped him lose 80 pounds.
That's right. I'm Rush Limbaugh, and I lost 80 pounds with a low-fat diet.
Wow, he sounds Scottish.
You've heard of Rush Limbaugh?
Of course.
That right-wing radio ranter?
I'm just saying,
It's the liberals and the drive-by media.
I've definitely heard of him, yes.
Anyway, if Engler has any further political ambitions as vice president or cabinet member, he'd better start now. Can't be a fatty, apparently. Tim Allen, a well-deserved bow for his exemplary behavior after rehab. Friends are raving about how well the Beverly Hills, Michigan comedian looks, sounds, and says he feels in his new state of sobriety. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you feel better.
Let's fucking clap for the guy that got caught with over a pound of cocaine and
Right.
went to jail in 1978, and now he's gone to rehab and he's so good for you. Seriously? I don't give a fuck. I hate Tim Allen.
I know you do, baby.
Elmore Leonard. John Travolta freeing up his film schedule so he can play Chili Palmer in the movie version of Dutch's just finished novel, Be Cool, which is a sequel to Get Shorty.
Ah.
Frank Kelly. Some big bucks from the new law practice the retiring state attorney general will open up in Lansing. Yep, really hoping for you there, Frank Kelly. Ernie Harwell. He got his big gift with the Tigers and WJR 760 when they signed him to the radio voice of the Tigers through 2000. So he already got his gift. Because he'll be Ernie Harwell stood there like what's he say, like the barn by the side of the road. Yeah. Ernie Harwell's the best. L. Brooks Patterson. Casinos for Oakland County. That's, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, this got very local. Sorry, everybody. L. Brooks Patterson is the county executive.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So
For Oakland County. Casinos for Oakland County. He deserves at least one as a thank you for making the Metropolitan Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau back down on changing its name to Visit Detroit. A dumb name in the first place. The Oakland County exec rightly believes the name shunned his county's Pine Knob, Palace, Meadowbrook, Cranbrook, Somerset Collection, Great Lakes Crossing, Downtown Royal Oak, etc.
oh my.
Frank Turner, a telephone credit card for the X Channel 7 anchor. Or on second thought, forget that one. I don't remember what happened to him, but let's see. Is there anything that's not super local? No, Lions and Pistons fans, refunds.
All right.
They suck. Now, Carol, before we get into the movie,
Yes.
I've got a little surprise for you.
What's that?
Last one of the year, everybody. It's time for some massive love.
Yay.
We're going to talk about a movie that's very lovely.
It is.
It's about love. So I figured time for massive love. Now this, again, comes from the Wild Hearts section. So these are some Wild Hearts.
All right. Let's go.
Old Hound, still chasing.
Oh, dear.
Married white male, 52, 6'2", 225 pounds. That's fair. Looking for white female to share relationship with. Open-minded, discreet, waiting for you. No buses, please.
What does that mean? No fat women?
So that was my question for you. There's a lot to unpack.
There
here.
is, yes.
First of all, he's an old hound
Ugh.
that's still hunting or still chasing. He's married.
Uh-huh.
But he's still chasing tail, I guess, as they said in the 70s or whenever this guy's heyday was. He's a fucking Fonzie kid. But he's looking for a white female. Now, no buses. This is my question for you. This is what caught my attention. Mm-hmm. Does he mean, as you surmised, does he mean like a overweight woman? Is he calling overweight women buses? Or is he saying, I don't want to take a bunch of buses to meet you, or you can't, I don't want to have to, not a long distance. Is that what he's saying?
I'm not sure. I mean, it could be either way, or he could mean he wants the woman to have her own car. I mean,
that could be it. No buses, please.
I really don't know. That's not like a common phrase that people are going to get. That was a waste of paying per word because what does it mean?
You need, sir, old hound. You need to update your slang.
Yeah, maybe it was something in the 70s. Who knows?
Oh, she's a bus.
I mean, it wouldn't be a good thing.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it means overweight women, which makes him even more despicable than just the garden variety 52-year-old married guy looking for a woman.
And the worst part is at 52, like, he's probably been married a long time.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just trying to make himself feel younger or whatever they do, you know?
Exactly. How many unenthusiastic blowjobs does your wife have to give before you're faithful to her, sir?
Gee, you looking forward to marriage there, dear? You know,
I feel that we will buck the trend.
I think so, but I was at a party years ago, like not that many years ago, but it was a few.
Feels like years ago.
Right. Talking to this guy who was young and had just gotten married, and he was just depressed, sitting in a chair by himself drinking beer.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what? You get married, never have sex again. That's what marriage is, no sex. And it's like, they're young people. Yeah. That's weird.
Well, I mean, that's my favorite, too, the guys that hate their wives. Like the married guys that it's almost like a genre of guy.
Right.
I'm one of those guys that hates my wife. I'm going to talk about how much I hate my wife, everyone. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I heard the exact opposite from a guy. I was at a party several years ago, actually playing poker with a bunch of people, and this guy just out of the blue, somebody must have been saying something at his table, but out of the blue, he just says to the entire room, "I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for you guys saying, oh, I'm married, we never have sex or whatever. My wife and I do it like once a day to like once every other day or something. I feel sorry for you guys. I don't have that problem." No, it's like, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why some people think that when they get married, they're just not. I mean, I guess maybe there are women who don't like sex.
Yeah.
And they just use it to get married.
Maybe.
And then have babies, and then they don't want it anymore. But I think that would be a rarity. I don't think that's very common.
I think sometimes guys stop trying to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, sometimes you need a little finesse to get in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of finesse.
Talk about trying, though. He's taking a fucking ad out. Right. Put that effort into your marriage, sir.
White couple seeks bi female for a Christmas gift she will never forget.
It does not say gift.
Oh, sorry. For a Christmas she will never forget. Okay.
That changes the meaning quite a bit, honestly.
He, 51, full of imagination. She, 37, and willing to listen.
Okay, does that mean take orders?
No men. Serious replies only.
I mean, he's full of imagination. She's willing to listen.
I think, like, it's almost like you need a shoulder to cry on after my husband's imagination runs wild on you.
But I feel like he just doesn't want to say she obeys me.
I guess. It sounds like they both wrote this, though, kind of like.
Yeah. White couple seeks bi female for a Christmas she will never forget. So they want a threesome for Christmas.
Is it the Christmas that the bi female will never forget, or a Christmas that his wife will never forget? Is this like a present for his wife, or is this a present for him? I guess two women's probably a present for him.
I feel like he was saying that the bi female will never forget it.
Wow, that's very bold. Are you over promising and under delivering?
Maybe. There? Seems like that'd be easy to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Macomb area married white couple bi-curious wife seeks bi-curious female for a fun, discreet relationship.
So she's a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So she's married.
Yeah, it says she's married. Well, it says married couple.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're both looking.
And that's why I saved this one. That's what I'm confused about. So she says Macomb area married white couple, comma, bi-curious wife, comma, seeks, the wife's bi-curious.
Yeah, the couple is seeking, the wife is bi-curious.
Yeah, so that actually, sir, just for future edification for yourself, That should either be parenthetical, so instead of the comma setting that off, that should be in a parentheses by itself, or at the very least set off by dashes. Because it's too much of a parenthetical phrase to be set off by commas. It makes it confusing. It honestly should be in parentheses. So, married white couple, parentheses, bi-curious wife, seeks white or bi-curious female for a fun, discreet relationship.
Wait, bi or bi-curious, not wait or bi-curious, because that would be...
Yeah, white, bi, or bi-curious.
You can't be white or bi-curious.
Oh, Carol, what do you
Yes.
think? Do you want to apply for that job?
No. I mean, we could look for somebody, but I don't want to go be in somebody's
can we?
fantasy.
Late fee 1994 at AOL.com.
I don't want to be the guest star.
Are you an attractive bi-curious female? Then, late fee 1994 at AOL.com. Good-looking straight type, genuine, free-spirited gay white male.
What the fuck? Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. I want you to respond, but just listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
Good-looking straight type, genuine, free-spirited gay white male, 44, 6'1", 200 pounds. Very nice stats. Not into gay life.
Oh, jeez.
Seeks romance, love, good-looking, masculine, nice guy.
So this guy is gay, but wishes he wasn't.
Apparently, what's gay life? Watching that new show, Will and Grace?
No, because he wants to live in the closet. That's all this is. Gay life would mean actually going out into the world with a man.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So not just going to like Bob's Oyster Bar or whatever, the gay bars or anything.
He just wants to have some sex and pretend that he's not gay.
Don't we all?
Do we? Do we, Mark? Because I feel like we have some things to talk about if that is true.
My intrusive thoughts just broke free. This is a good one. Are you seeking variety? Married white couple with a single white male seeks bi or bi-curious female or couple for pleasurable relationship.
Oh, that was complicated. That was a lot. Okay.
Seriously, you need a chart to figure out what's going on here. But from what I worked out reading it, there is a married white couple, and they have in tow a single white male. So they already have 3 people in this relationship. They are now seeking a bi or bi-curious female or a couple to add to the relationship.
So they're just looking for an orgy?
It sounds like they're looking for a relationship orgy, a orgyship.
I mean, it's not even like polyamory because there's not just a dude and a bunch of girls or a girl and a bunch of dudes.
I think they're looking for a commune.
2 dudes and a girl looking for another girl or another couple girls and a dude.
What I think they want is they want to be able to walk into a room and just have sex with whoever's in that room. They're looking. They have a 6 room house, and they just want a person for each room.
There you go. There you go.
It's so weird, though, right?
Yeah.
Not to shame anybody, whatever consenting adults or an entire group of adults wants to do is up to you, but that's very out of the ordinary.
I feel like it wouldn't work. That would not last long because I think that a stronger connection would have to form between a couple of the people.
Yeah.
And then there'd be jealousy and,
Exactly.
favoritism. And I just can't imagine. I could see a polyamorous couple.
Sure.
With people, maybe they bring in and out, but they're the couple.
Yeah.
But they're talking about a lot of people.
Yeah. I know it's weird.
Yeah.
How many successful threesomes do you think have been brought together by this newspaper section?
You mean just the sex act when you say
Yes.
threesome?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
lots probably.
You think
Wouldn't
so?
You think?
I don't know. There are. I skipped over a lot of them because a lot of them are very vanilla and just just like general. There's nothing we can really latch onto to kind of talk about humorously, but there are also bi females in there saying like, "Hey, I'm a bi female. I want to be. I'm looking for a couple." Mm-hmm. So you would think there's both sides of the equation making.
They'll find each other.
Making things. So yeah, I mean, I would assume that is pretty successful.
It seems like, I don't know, you could just manage that by going to a club, though, honestly. Like,
probably. I don't know. Like, it's kind of a specific thing. Like, you might not find, if us, for instance, let's say we went out to a club, right?
okay.
It's not maybe every girl we walked up to is not going to be like, oh yeah, I've always thought about being in a threesome with a couple.
Sure, of course.
So, like, I think the percentage of people willing to do that is lower.
So you think there'd be a lot of strikeouts? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's why they turn to the paper, because they're like, well, you know, they'll read the paper and they'll come to us.
Here's the problem with the paper, though. You put out these ads, you know, you got people calling each other, leaving messages,
Sure.
you decide to meet. They have no idea what these people look like.
That's true. How many people do you think have been murdered?
I hope not many.
How many nations have been started?
Oh, dear God.
Anyway, the last one here. Answer this, ladies.
No.
Are you open-minded? Want to lose control in a situation you enjoy? Call and let me know what you can endure.
Oh, dear.
Straight white male. I know you could read it, but they didn't hear that last word, I don't think.
Sorry.
Because you talked over it. Call and let me know what you can endure. What does that mean?
I think he wants to hurt somebody.
Do you want to lose control in a situation you enjoy? Is this the guy from that... What's the Strange? What the fuck?
Oh, Strangeland. Yeah.
Strangeland.
Yeah.
Is this the lead singer of Twisted Sister?
Nobody call that number because you'll end up in a cage.
What's that on your uniform? A Twisted Sister pin? You're worthless and weak.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
From the video?
Yes.
That guy was from Animal House.
We're not gonna take
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You got it. Yeah, Animal House. Great movie.
But yeah, you don't respond to... That's a stranger. Stranger danger.
Strange Land.
Okay? Stranger danger.
That's worse. Hey, how many people on the internet do you think are now putting like maybe this is not going to be in the newspaper that long. I didn't even think about that. But how many people on the internet do you think are like, "Hey, we're a bi-curious couple"? They just go into a chat room or whatever and
like in Strangeland.
like a local chat room. Like, hey, bi-curious couple here. We want a woman. Anybody want to fuck us?
Be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you could see a picture before you meet.
Yep, just put one of those AOL discs in the free trials.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of meeting on the internet, Carol, that is a perfect segue. I didn't even plan that.
Nice job.
But that's a perfect segue to the movie we saw today. I believe it was called Someone's Got Some Mail.
You've got mail.
Yeah, the words everyone loves to hear when they like, welcome, you've got mail.
It does make you happy, though, doesn't it? Like, you get a little excited. Like, ooh, who wrote me?
Yeah, sometimes it's somebody telling me to get a credit card.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's junk, but most of the time it's, somebody saying hi.
Yeah, it's somebody saying hi.
Like, I like chatting with people on the internet.
So we watched You've Got Mail, the third movie that Megan Ryan and Thomas Hanks have been in.
Okay, so Tom Hanks probably is Thomas.
T. Hanks.
I don't think Meg is Megan, and I don't think you should make assumptions like that.
You don't think Meg Ryan is Megan Ryan?
I do not. No, I don't. I mean, like, her whole life, like, at least as far as we've been known her, she's been Meg.
I think that you know what probably is? She's probably Margaret.
Oh, God. She does not look like a Margaret.
No, Meg fits her much better.
Yeah, let's just leave it Meg.
Margaret Ryan. Or is she now Margaret, what's that dude's last name?
Who's she married to?
She is married to Dennis Quaid.
Oh.
Margaret Quaid.
How weird. What a weird thought that could be her name, like her whole other life. Anyway.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks probably is Thomas. I don't know. Maybe he is just Tom, though. I don't know.
So I have to ask you a question, though.
Ask me anything.
In While You Were Sleeping,
Yes.
she looks a lot smaller than she does in this movie. But I feel like, and I've got
No buses, Meg Ryan.
No, I don't mean like her weight, but I mean like her entire person and demeanor and everything. She just seems tiny in that movie, and like normal sized in this movie.
She's tiny. She's a tiny person in real life.
I think they accentuated it in that movie, maybe because it's like, I don't know.
I also think part of it's her attitude. She's very like take charge in this.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
And I think that's part of it too. And part of it is that a lot of the time she's just sitting at a desk typing on a computer.
well, and I think her hair being cut somehow like makes her.
Her hair is shorter
Look
than normal
different.
in this movie. The hair is shorter and she looks bigger.
Somehow it does like the big.
She's got a reverse Samson going on.
She had like little long hair and like big loose clothes in that movie, and just made her look tiny inside of it all.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did look tiny.
But-
Of course, both of those movies are not the best movie that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan have been in together.
Yeah, you told me this.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Never seen it.
Excellent movie. We have to watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it with you.
Joseph versus the Volcano.
We'll have to find time to watch it.
Yeah. We don't have much time because we're always
Get into the theater and seeing those new releases.
watching stuff for you
Yeah.
people.
It's our sacrifice for you.
Getting these tapes in the mail is like You've Got Mail for us. Anyway, so what did you think of You've Got Mail?
I loved this movie. Like it brought me to tears and it made me feel good. And like, I mean, there was just like a roller coaster of emotions. The characters were really good and fleshed out and interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything about it.
Maybe one of the best last lines in a movie?
Remind me.
When she says, so, obviously, this entire discussion is going to be spoilers for You've Received Mail. So, if you haven't seen it, go out to the theater and see it. Because I also recommend it. I thought it was a fantastic film. She says, I wanted it to be you.
Yeah.
That's a very cute, endearing line. And Meg Ryan is such a fucking good actress. God damn, she deserves the Oscar in every time she's in a movie. She's so good. She's so good and she's so charming. Like,
So is he though.
Tom Hanks is Jimmy Stewart. Like this is based on The Shop Around the Corner, which is what her shop is called. A movie from 1940 starring Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
And he's our generation's Jimmy Stewart.
Sure.
Like 100%. But she's now I don't want to say this in a way that sounds demeaning. Because she's cute, whatever, in like in a very ephemeral kind of way she's cute. But Meg Ryan is not sexy.
No, for sure.
She's not like I don't find her personally attractive. Like I'm not like, ooh, give me some of Meg Ryan or something like that.
Right.
In some ways, you would think, or it could be like sort of a detriment as an actress, because some actresses they carry themselves along partially based on their sex appeal. I don't think any actress that's successful in the movies or in TV or whatever, or even on stage, that is because they don't have much talent and it's only their sex appeal. That doesn't happen. That's not what I'm saying. Everyone's talented. But someone like, and not to point her out or whatever, but someone like Cameron Diaz trades a lot on her sex appeal, right?
Sure.
Meg Ryan doesn't have that to fall back on. And she is so fucking effortlessly charming and like just fantastic. She captures every emotion.
Oh, yeah.
She is the definition of what a good actor should be. Like, I can't say enough about how good she is at her job.
Yeah, she is.
Every time you fall in love with her. Like, even though she's not, like I said, even though she's not what people would consider like, oh, that's the ideal, woman. She's a good-looking woman. She's a fine-looking woman. But even though that's not what, society or whatever would be like, but you fall in love with her because of her character,
Yeah.
because of her acting, because of her personality.
And that's how I felt about Tom Hanks' character. I was literally going to say something similar. Like, he's not very attractive.
Agreed.
I'm sure there are women out there that think he is.
Rita Wilson certainly does.
Right. And most movies that I see him in, even when he is the love interest, I'm like, okay, for you.
Yep.
But, I mean, this movie, he managed to be so charming that I actually felt like I could see it. Like, I could see how she could feel that, you
Yep.
know?
And they obviously have fantastic chemistry.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You know, you can tell they're friends in real life. They have a really good, and they're both, and again, he is a fantastic actor. I mean, 2-time Academy Award winner, obviously. So acting wise, great stuff, obviously.
What must it be like for him to go from a movie like Pearl Harbor?
You've Got Mail.
Yeah, like-
you keep wanting to call it Pearl Harbor. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I don't know why you want to call it Pearl Harbor.
What's it called?
It's called Saving Private
It's
Ryan.
about Pearl Harbor, right?
No, it's about D-Day. It's a completely different theater. It's about the European theater, the landing on Normandy Beach.
Theater.
Yes, theater.
The European theater?
Yes, they call it. Yes, there were 2 theaters in World War II.
No way, I never heard this.
The European theater and the Pacific theater. That's what they called them.
Weird. I thought you were just saying the wrong word. I thought you were having like some kind of weird aneurysm or something.
No,
Like,
no, you're having a weird aneurysm. Hollywood, make a movie about Pearl Harbor. And just to make Carol happy, call it Pearl Harbor.
and put
So
Tom
if-
Hanks in it.
So eventually, and put Tom Hanks in it. So eventually she'll be right calling a movie Pearl Harbor.
That would be nice.
It's called Saving Private Ryan.
Same right. But yeah, to go from this like bloody, awful, like heavy movie to this happy, lighthearted comedy.
It has to be insane. But yeah, this movie, directed and written by Nora Ephron, one of probably the most prolific female directors going around right now. Don't you think so? She did Heartburn.
Never seen it.
She bases her movies on her life a lot, like actual things going on in her life. Well, she did When Harry Met Sally.
That's a very good one.
She wrote that. She wrote Heartburn. Heartburn is Jack Nicholson and I want to say Meryl Streep. I think it's like they're getting divorced and it's about a divorce. She did one of my favorite movies, My Blue Heaven. She did Sleepless in Seattle.
Okay.
She did that movie Michael.
Yeah.
You know the
Angel.
the angel one.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
fine. What?
That's just your derision at that movie. But anyway, so yeah, she's one of the more prolific female writer directors out there, and another great script.
Yes, it was very, very good.
The only thing I would say, I guess, is that the movie feels its length at times.
Okay.
Especially towards the end. Like the whole brunt of this story is that Tom Hanks plays
Fox.
John B. Dalton's or
F-O-X.
John Borders or whatever, or John Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, he's the son of some superstore bookstore.
It's a big book chain, and she owns and operates a small little family-owned bookstore.
Was it Joe? Joe was his name. Just call me Joe.
That's right, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Fox and Meg Ryan.
That was not her name either. What was her Kelly? Catherine Kelly was her mother.
It was.
she was-
She was a Kelly.
Her last name's Kelly.
She was a KK too, though.
Yeah.
She was. Her name was Kathleen. Kathleen Kelly. Her mom was something, maybe Christy Kelly or something.
I think her mom was Kathleen.
Well, anyway, she was Kathleen Kelly. I remember that.
Okay.
But there's a subplot too that's never really discussed, where his grandfather is like, I think I dated her mom once.
Yeah, he mentions that a few times.
I wanted to be like,
I think we went on a date once.
they're they're related to Tom Hanks and Meg
Oh God, that'd be messed up.
in this movie.
It is kind of weird that he mentioned that a couple times. Just
And it never, it's a thread that never comes back.
it gets mentioned between the main characters, I think, because he goes, your mother was enchanting, because his grandfather kept saying it. So it was like something for him to say to her, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
That kind of made them connect, because you can tell how much she loves and misses her mother. It's like a constant thing throughout the movie.
And that's a big theme of the movie too, yeah. But yeah, family's
Huge.
Family's a huge theme in this movie, because she talks about her family,
and she's all alone.
yeah, and the people that work with her are her family.
Yeah,
and
her maid family.
the kids that she reads to, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a children's bookstore, are her kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And obviously, his family owns this bookstore, and they've got the grandfather, the father, who's Dabney Coleman. The grandfather's, the great John Randolph, and then obviously Tom Hanks is the other one. But they get to what's his name? Dabney Coleman's dating this really young woman who ends up getting divorced, or not divorced because they're not married yet, but they end up breaking up. And
Yeah, she leaves him for the nanny, and then he moves into
the
a
boat.
houseboat, which he has moved into every time he's gotten divorced, including from the main character's mother.
Yeah.
And then he also moves in when he breaks up with his girl.
Yeah, because he's dating Parker Posey.
Is that her character or the actress?
That's the actress.
Okay.
Yeah, the supporting cast, the entire cast in this is good. I mean,
Yeah.
like Dabney Coleman plays his dad, and he has like 3 scenes. And Dabney Coleman's a fantastic actor. And then Parker Posey, who I love, is in this, as well as Steve Zahn's in it. And what's the two? Gene Stapleton's in it. From Archie.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
her.
Yeah, her older friend.
Birdie, yeah, the one that fell in love with Francisco Franco. And,
Oh yeah.
and then why can't I think of his name? Greg Kinnear. Greg Kinnear's in it. He plays Meg Ryan's boyfriend at the beginning.
Yeah, I like him. What else has he been in? We've seen him in stuff lately.
He was in Dear God. He was
Okay.
the former, before John Henson, no relation, was the host of Talk Soup
Okay,
on E. He's been on a bunch of stuff.
sure. I knew we'd seen him.
He was
in
in As Good as It Gets.
that. Yeah,
I think he won an Oscar for that.
Okay.
He was nominated for an Oscar for that. I don't remember if he
Yeah,
won.
he was the gay neighbor. That's it. That's why he looks so familiar. We saw him recently.
Yeah, the Gaber.
Goodness. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Oh, and David Chappelle was in this.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
him? We saw that movie Half Baked,
Yep.
where he was half baked.
He was much better in this movie.
Yeah, he was better in a movie with a better script.
Yeah. Like you can tell he can actually act.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's a stand-up comedian, so he's sort of naturally funny. Like I said, we didn't love Half Baked. I don't think it was fine.
Yeah, it was
but it
fine.
wasn't. It's not a tight script, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is. But that part where Tom Hanks goes to meet because you have to have seen the movie if you're listening to this. But they're speaking over the internet and everything. She's Shop Girl and he's NYC 151 or something like that.
Yeah, he has whatever his address numbers are.
What a stupid name. You might as well say, here's my zip code, my apartment number, come kill me.
Oh, come on now. It's just the huge city and then his street address.
I guess that's
without
true.
the street.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so he's going to meet her and he doesn't know that it's Meg Ryan.
Yeah, because they've met in real life and they don't get along.
Yeah. So he's like, you David Chappelle, you go look. You see who it is and if she's ugly or whatever. And he looks and he's like, she kind of looks like... That looks like that Kathleen Kelly lady. And he's like, oh. And he's like, well, you wouldn't hate that, right? You said you think she's cute. And he's like, yeah, whatever. But I don't want to be thinking about her right now. And he's like, well, if you don't like Kathleen Kelly, you're not going to like this one.
Yeah.
Because it is her. And it's that part's very funny. He sells that very well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we do establish early on that he thinks she's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that helps lay the groundwork, at least.
But there's the obvious, like tension and stuff like that. Once he finds out, so here's a question I have for you. Once he finds out, he begins a campaign of becoming her friend, insinuating himself into her life, saying giving her advice about her pen pal dude, like playing both sides of the equation. And then at the end, like I said, they meet and she sees it's him. She starts crying. She says that fantastic line, I wanted it to be you. Would you forgive someone like
Absolutely.
this easily, though?
Absolutely.
Because he was kind of playing with her.
Yeah, but he's so charming. I mean, it makes sense that she'd forgive him, honestly, that she, I would.
She fell in love with him on the internet, and then she fell in love with him in real life.
And I think that was really smart of him, though, because if he'd just gone in with their pre-established,
That's true.
animosity and been like, but you liked me on the internet, I don't think it would have worked. She had to like him both ways.
You're right. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It wouldn't have worked.
Oh, because she hated him.
But this is a love story. Like, this is a romantic comedy. There are so many romantic comedies that they make that's just like paint by numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like blah, 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 blah. And sometimes those can be entertaining or whatever. Because a lot of it, so it's like a horror movie. Because that gets horror movies and romantic comedies are the two kinds of movies that get very formulaic.
Sure.
And all the other stuff means so much more. The acting, the directing, the atmosphere, those things mean so much more in those movies than they would in some other movies, especially like science fiction or fantasy, which can be very high concept and out there and stuff like that. Even action movies can be high concept and everything too. Some of them
Sometimes.
Die Hard and like Top Gun and some of them. But anyway, so the acting and everything means so much more. This one's fairly high concept too, actually, though. This is one of those where it's a much different kind of love story. It's not just like the tension is built in, like the tension that you want is built into the relationship, and then the way around it is actually inventive.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to watch them go from enemies to in love. But I want to talk to you about the relationships they were in the beginning.
Gotcha.
Because, do you think they were cheating on their significant others?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
They met in a chat room.
Yep.
And then they just were messaging or emailing or whatever.
They talk about how they loved books and stuff like that.
And it didn't sound like there was anything sexual at any point.
No, I don't think there was. But I think that the behavior defines it. At the very beginning of the movie, she waits for Greg Kinnear to leave, and then she logs on to the internet. He waits. He peeks around, makes sure Parker Posey is well gone before he opens up his computer, and then they big smile on their face. And she talks about how it's like the best part of my day reading my message from NYC 151, and the way they talk about it and the way they behave, they obviously think they're doing something wrong.
Yeah, true. That is true. But it just, it didn't. It definitely wasn't the reason their relationships ended. They were both
in relationships that didn't mean anything to them,
and that's why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah, because and that's established very early in somewhat subtle ways for her, kind of more obvious ways for him, because he's there with Dave Chappelle at the building of their thing. And he's like, I thought you were going to get married to Parker Posey. He's like, married? What the fuck are you talking about? He is Absolutely not.
Right.
And then for her, it's he likes typewriters. He hates technology. She uses a computer. She's falling in love over technology.
Right.
Like, they are two different people in vastly different worlds.
Yeah.
And that's a little more subtle, but it's very foreshadowed with the choice of his tech. He wants to use a typewriter, and everything.
I didn't really pick up on that, but that's good. Yeah.
There's a lot of subtlety there. There's a lot of subtlety with color in this too that I thought was nicely done. As they're building the building again, that's all like that color palette is completely cold. The temperature of that is freezing. It's a lot of blues. It's and everything. And then we cut from that to her in her bookstore, which is all in warm tones and feels like home. It's all reds and browns.
I feel like we have not mentioned, and I'm sure that anyone who's listened to this far and has seen the movie, but just in case, I don't think we've mentioned the actual plot point that he is putting her out of business with a giant bookstore right around the corner from her little bookstore.
Exactly.
So that is why.
And then the boardroom scene where the three of them are there, that's all fucking blue.
Yeah.
And that's during the day in a corner office with a bunch of windows.
Yeah.
Like that's obvious. That's an obvious choice because that room would have been full of light, light from the sun, ambient light, very warm temperatures. That is fucking blue as can be.
It is.
I really noticed it in there, and they're talking also about putting her out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And he says something like, "Oh, this one independent bookstore went out of business." He's like, "I've got bad news," and they're like, "Ah!" They start laughing like fucking villains, like oil barons. They're the Illuminati of bookstores.
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll fucking buy up their old catalog, and then we'll own those books." And it's like,
I gotta say though, I do enjoy the coffee in the bookstore.
yeah, I love. So we have a Borders by us. We have a Barnes and Noble by us, and I like those bookstores.
Yeah, I feel like this store is supposed to be Barnes & Noble because Barnes & Noble's the biggest, and it's got the coffee, and it's got the children's section with the toys, and
Yes.
it's just like that. And I love it. I mean, I also like cute little stores like hers.
Well, yeah, there's an independent bookstore that's down the street from where we live, and I buy used Stephen King books and stuff there all the time. And they don't sell. It's a used bookstore. They don't sell new books, so it's cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, hers seemed like it was some kind of like hybrid, but
Well, yeah, I mean, like they had
some first editions and stuff on
Well,
the
he
shelves.
bought like 4 or 5 books and it was $75.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a little much. I mean, like, if you're paying full price, that's too much.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Like they were saying, like his bookstore discounts because they buy in bulk, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And her bookstore can't. But I feel like even the full price of 4 books shouldn't be that much.
It's a lot of money.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And they're kids' books. Kids' books are generally cheaper because guess what? They're shorter. Mm-hmm. And that makes a difference in the publishing world. That's why Stephen King books sometimes are a lot more expensive because it's the fucking weight. It's the paper.
Yeah.
There's more material cost if it's a longer book.
Well, hardcover versus softcover, all
Sure,
of that.
yeah.
All that matters.
Yeah, well, for sure. But yeah, shorter books tend to be a little bit cheaper because they don't cost as much to produce.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bizarre. I mean, that's definitely not helping her cause.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish I had more to say about the movie. It's really good.
It is very good.
It's like the strength of it is the acting. It's great acting all the way around. And I can't recommend it enough. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it just gives you all the feels.
Don't worry about how long we've been on the air, Carol. If you have more to say, trust me, I will definitely react to stuff you have to say about the movie. I don't really have more to say because it just was all good. There's not a thing that I can criticize about the movie. There was nothing bad about the movie at all.
I want to ask, it seemed crazy to me
Ask me all the questions.
when he went to her apartment, like the day after or however long after she's been put out of business.
Yeah.
So she's depressed and in her pajamas and has a cold. And he just like gets somebody to let him in. He follows them in her building, goes up and sees her, and they're enemies. And he brings her flowers and like, oh, I heard you were sick and all this stuff. Like, was that even true that he heard she was sick, or was he just saying that?
No, he heard it.
But
You heard it from Steve Zahn. You missed some dialogue, I think.
no, I didn't miss it. The Steve Zahn was working for him.
I don't think it was the day after.
Okay.
Because it was established that they hired him, and he's been in charge of the bookstore for a while. The day that she gets out of business, she goes to the bookstore, and she's sitting there, and she's crying and talking about the shoe series, the ballet shoes and the skating shoes and all that stuff. So I think it's been at least like a week or something like that.
I just think that it was really crazy that he went there, that she let him in, that the whole interaction occurred. Like, if it had been me, I wouldn't have let him get in the door.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, maybe she was supposed to believe she's a little delirious. I don't know.
She must have kind of liked him anyway, somehow.
I mean, well, she did like him before she knew who he was.
Yeah.
Because they had met when he knew who she was, but she didn't know who he was. With the FOX, when he brought his niece his nephew and his aunt, the two children.
His
brother and his aunt.
His brother and his aunt.
Who are both children. Into her bookstore. Like, she seemed to like him then. I
will take that back. There is one slight problem I have with the movie.
Okay.
It's very nitpicky. But at the end of the movie, she's been put out of business. She's not going to go work for him.
No.
Steve Zahn's got the New York, the children's section in the big new store. He's got that on lockdown. So they don't need her running that or anything like that. But we don't get any resolution to what she's going to do now.
She's writing. She said she was writing a book.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Forget it. I don't have no notes then. Great job, Nora Ephron.
She's like talking about how she never thought she'd be a writer. But
she's writing children's books.
She is. So, yeah.
I mean, perfect.
It's all wrapped up.
Perfect movie, I think.
Very good.
I honestly think it's a perfect movie. There aren't that many that come along. Ghostbusters is one. There's a few others that have existed over the years. I honestly think this is a perfect movie.
Yeah, definitely see it and then see it again.
Yeah, fantastic. But anyway, that is the show for this week and for this year.
Yeah,
we're saying goodbye to 1998. Everybody, next time we talk to you live, it will be 1999.
Yeah, we are wrapping up our 5th year of doing this show.
Oh my god, it's so crazy. So if you want to give us a gift and have the night of your life and be a bi-curious female with Carol and I. Again, late fee 1994 at AOL.com.
Or you could always check out patreon.com, that website our friend has. That's a good way to give us an actual gift.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
All right. So happy holidays, everybody.
Yes. And tell
what?
Tell them where to go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Check out our website, www.retrolatefee.com.
Yeah.
And you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com, which you've said a billion times.
Uh-huh.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Yeah, please tell friends about us. Give us that gift, too. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.